Good afternoon and welcome to 15 Minutes in the Forest. I'm Neil Clark, Forestry Extension Agent for Eastern Virginia. Oh no, don't go into those tall grasses back there. There's chicks and tigers back there. Ticks and chiggers.
Well, I'm just itching to tell you all a little about chiggers today. To my forester friends, they are disdainfully known as red bugs. The internet colloquialisms label them as harvest mites, velvet mites, berry bugs, and other assorted names.
Chiggers are the larval stage of the mites of the Trumbiculidae family,
which is in the class with arachnids such as spiders and ticks. The parasitic phase of this bug, or the larvae phase, which can be as small as 1 to 1/150th of an inch, so not visible with the naked eye. The visible ones that we see in photographs are often the adults, which are much larger in size. In the adult phase, they do not bite humans. There are dozens, if not more, species of chiggers in the Trumbiculidae family, and due to their extremely small size, classification is difficult without some extreme work. However, it is the larval form, which only has 6 legs at this stage, that actually bite us. They do not burrow into our skin, nor do they suck our blood. Attach with their chelicerae, which are pincher-like jaws. Subsequently, they secrete enzymes which dissolve our skin cells, which they then slurp up. It is our body's reaction to these enzymes which create the insatiable itch over the next days and weeks. The interesting component is, as these enzymes work, our skin combats this by forming a hardened tube called a stylosome, which then serves as a straw for the mite to be able to access even deeper tissue. So the longer the mites can stay in place, the more they can feed and the more reaction.
So why this incessant itch? And the incessant itch comes from the remnants of those digestive enzymes and your body's response trying to fight them. So by the time that you start to itch, which is estimated to be 3 to 6 hours after you've been bitten, those larvae are already dropped off and starting to metamorphosize into their next life form. At which point you're left with those enzymes in your skin, and at that point there's no insect to remove. You can only treat the symptoms of your itching skin. So those typical topical ointments that are for itch, your hydrocortisone, your calamine lotion, things that tend to deaden that itch. Some people will take antihistamine.
The old wives' tale of nail polish remover is not effective, as the bugs are long gone by the time you notice the itch. Unlike ticks, however, their mouth parts are so small that subsequent to feeding, they easily brush off. The fact that they do not suck blood or access our bloodstream like ticks or mosquitoes is a good thing. In the United States, they are not known vectors to humans of any disease. Globally, however, they are known to vector scrub typhus, Orienta Susugamushi, which has been documented in Japan as early as the early 1800s. This bacteria has been found in chiggers in North Carolina, but as of yet, no one in the United States has been diagnosed with this disease. Sadly, if left untreated, this disease can be fatal. However, with treatment, most of the time, extreme symptoms can be resolved.
So one of the reasons they're probably called berry bugs is they do tend to love this habitat. You can see some end of the season blackberry briars here behind me, and then some other associated weeds, dog fennel, etc., etc. Of course, humans don't tend to by choice, spend a lot of time in these habitats. That's why a lot of times people tend to think of them as being a summertime pest. However, they are present in that environment from spring through fall. And one of the researchers from Purdue even said, someone asked him the question, well, how do you prevent getting chigger bites? And his answer was to stay indoors from spring through fall. Not very practical for most people, right? And that's why people like foresters tend to, or people maybe hunt, rabbit hunters or something like that, will maybe tend to come across this problem more than the normal person, because we may have to walk straight through this, whereas most people will find a path somewhere through this kind of environment. So why perchance is this the opportune environment for these mites? Mites, of course, are going to need some amount of water. So this heavy brush type environment, they can find plenty of water in places where the dew under leaves and things like that don't dry up, as opposed to a well manicured lawn. They're super tiny, so how are they going to get on to a human being? In a well manicured lawn, they would have to get on at your foot level, and then it would take them a long time to crawl somewhere. In an environment like this, where you might be wading through shoulder height weeds, they can obviously then get on your body in a much higher location. And as my experience in life personally is, tend to mostly get them on the ankle regions, and haven't really gotten them around the midsection or up around the neck. However, looking on the internet and other places, I do see people who have gotten them on their midsection, sometimes due to sitting in grass with shorts on. Wouldn't recommend that. Take a picnic blanket, right? Other people have gotten them up around their neck and all. I think probably by handling feed for livestock or for horses. Sometimes maybe they get on that hay bundle or something, and you pick that hay bundle up and have it around your neck area and your upper body. So why berry bugs? Again, for the human, there's not that many times during the year that a human is going to willingly wade into this height of brush in an outdoor environment. That's part A. Part B is you have to consider the alternate hosts of chiggers. The primary alternate hosts of chiggers are small reptiles, even amphibians, and birds. So those are all critters who are going to be present in this environment. Also small rodents as well. Birds are going to want to taste the berries, as well as any lizards. Mice are everywhere. Snakes are going to come after the mice, and the birds are going to come after the snakes. And so you have all of these things in this sort of habitat. The means of protection that we have against chiggers is we have whatever percent DEET that you can find to apply to your skin and your body, and then we have our permethrin, which can be applied to garments. The labels on a lot of the packaging disallows you from applying to skin legally. So even though it's made from chrysanthemums, it doesn't mean when they want it on your skin. And there again, grain alcohol is made from sugar, and it doesn't mean you can consume unlimited quantities of it, right? So the permethrin that are used for clothes treatment by most labels that I've seen should be applied to your clothes outside and when they're off of your body. So I'm just going to kind of go through the process of how that's done. Not that it's complicated. So looking at the labels that I've seen do not indicate that that gloves are needed as some pesticides are. Again, look at the label of the product that you're using. I'm going to put on some gloves here, and I have a long sleeve shirt. A lot of chemicals require gloves and long sleeve shirts. Again, the label may make that determination. I don't see that on most of these homeowner products, but it does say to avoid contact with the skin. So if nothing else, a little extra safety of long sleeves and gloves are going to avoid some contact with the skin. You also notice that I'm outside, so I'm not doing this on over my living room, my dining room table, and I'm also not doing it in my enclosed garage where I may inhale a lot of the product. So we're outdoors. There's not any wind today, so I'm not going to spray it in my eyes, I hope, that kind of thing. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to spray it anywhere because I'm using just a spray bottle, so I don't have the actual product here today. If you look at the product, most of the products require that you keep them in the original containers. There may be some products that you can get that you mix yourself. Most of the homeowner pre-mixed clothing products, clothing products are pre-mixed products. You'll notice on the label it will give you instructions on how to apply, so there again, follow label instructions, and also give you information about how long it lasts. So most of these products, you treat your clothing, the efficacy of that product in your clothing should last a certain amount of time or a certain number of washing of launderings. Common numbers that I see are about 5 to 6 months and or 5 or 6 washes. So if you're clothes you wear every day, you're going to get to the washing limit first, and if it's something that you take camping a couple of times this summer, you may treat it in the spring and it will last the whole summer. You notice that the United States military issues clothing that's pre-treated. You can purchase clothing in stores, hunting stores and other stores that's pre-treated, and there's also several companies that you can mail your clothes to, and they will treat. And in those cases, the binding agents and all they use, often those clothes will be effective much longer than these sprays. However, these sprays you can apply periodically. But this stuff is a little expensive, so I tend to just treat from the knee down on my clothing. Spray it on your clothes. When you do your boots, I would do some along the collar of the boot and inside of the top of the tongue, and that. Notice, I'm trying not to, you can see how the material is leaking some, and then even in the professional spray bottles. That's the other good purpose for the gloves. See that my gloves are not exactly dry, right? Thoughts, I guess some people want to be more fashionable in the woods. Most of the military people that I've known and seen do tuck their pants into their boots, and that gives it a more a tight constriction. Then you just turn your garment around and repeat. Permethrin, it works. Dozens of foresters who are out in the woods every day, all seasons, and they swear by it. So one humorist remarked that if you're calling into work because of this, you can tell your boss that you've been diagnosed with arachnid papillae, because that sounds a lot more severe than chigger bites. Please make sure you join us again in 2 weeks for another 15 minutes in the forest. Have a joyful journey.